I've just been finishing doing a video about guns, about cannons, about that for hundreds of years nothing has changed. Nothing much changed for hundreds of years. So I thought that I would go over and do galleons. So here we go, galleons. So I put in like the 1700s, you know, because it says I wanted to know roughly when these ships were built then, the galleons, with all the sails, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, where did that all start? I mean, that was like 2,000 trees to make a ship. Wow, no wonder we've got no trees left. Big trees, they took them then to make the ships. You know, and it's giving me a bit of history, and there's the first race, and oh, it's 1500, so I think, right, okay, it's a bit earlier then, because, you know, it's got to go back to the 1500s now. So obviously I look up a bit more history, as you do, as you start researching and delving in and recording what you find on the internet. How much it cost doesn't really tell you anything anyway. These ships would have been probably very expensive when they were made. Well, a lot of people think ships with sails was all to do with, you know, these ships were being used differently and the sails were being used to sort of help them fly through the sea. That could have been true. Look at that, the black pearl even makes, got all this history you want to find out, and the black pearl from the film's in there. Anyway, you know, from Pirates of the Caribbean, but anyway. So obviously it is worth a lot of money if you've got one of those. Anybody got one of those in their garden? A 5 million galleon ship? And that's how much land cost, so they say, in that time. Anyway, like, there's so many questions to go through, and a lot of them don't mean what you're looking for. So, and then as you look at some of the questions, then it changes more. You know, and you end up with hundreds of questions, and you think, I can't look at all the questions. But some of them are a load of rubbish, and some of them don't even match in at all to what you're looking at. I don't get that, but anyway. So I thought, let's just put in 1300s. Oh look, galleon ships. So it wasn't even the 1500s. These ships go back to the 1300s and probably back further than that with sails on. But I was looking up galleons. So made out of cotton flax or cotton canvas. So they were good at sewing then. They'd have to be for those great big sails. But again, it says, oh, well, it could be much older, and you're like, really? So anyway, we start at the 1300s. I just wanted to look at ships and see what they would give us as the history. So when you look at these again, they're just like the guns and the cannons. Nothing much changes. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 600 years we've got the same kind of ships. Obviously they've changed a little bit, but I suppose they would after 600 years. But the ships aren't changing. I think I go up and look at the dates to tell you which year, which century I've put in. But it's just amazing that not, except maybe the later ones have got more sails on them. So now we're into the 1500s. So this is like coming up for, well, we're getting on towards Henry VIII and Pirates of the Caribbean. And then probably the 1700s, aren't they? I mean, no wonder we've got no trees left. Now we're into the 16th century. 17th century. Nothing much is changing, is it? The masks have probably changed a little bit. The hulls look a little bit bigger, but not much has changed. Oh, I decided to put rooms on the boats, you know. maybe they're a little bit higher, but not much is changing, is it? Not enough. We've got hundreds of years here where we're fighting and everything. Like I said in the other video, we're fighting away. Not much is changing, like the guns and the cannons. And that video's on Sun and Moon. I'll put the link to it in the description of this one. I was a bit shocked because, you know, I don't know what we think anymore. But when you look at it, nothing's changing much. So now we're into the 20th century, and look at the size of the boat. This boat here, it's not that big, so neither is that one. Do you see what I mean? So even if that is a galleon ship, it wasn't that big, and neither is that one. I'm not saying they're tiny, but these ships are not as big. So yeah, you think these things used to, no wonder it was a life and death thing by the time we got to America. But, yeah, do you see what I mean? There's not much difference in size. This one, you can see, you know, is not that big. But again, nothing much has changed then on the yachts, because when you look, it's all the same. But anyway, thanks very much for listening. I just don't get any of this. I mean, we were building star forts, TARTARIN buildings, so much technology, but none of this changed that much. The guns, the cannons, the ships. No, thanks for watching.